It was I worked at the ICMR Center for Outbreak Science, where we focused on designing a fellowship for ICMR scientists on how to do outbreak investigation, how to do research, how to do disease modeling, things like that.
Okay, sir. So you have also worked as a consultant epidemiologist at National Institute of Epidemiology. So
Hmm.
what are you involved and what is the scope of epidemiology for all those who are looking for career in this field?
Yeah. So epidemiology again, there is also a different state level, right? There is a state level or a district epidemiologist, or there is a district medical officer positions that are available. People are looking to apply to that. Again, through the standard portals, they can definitely apply. Epidemiology is slowly picking up. What I did was I worked at the ICMR Center for Outbreak Science, where we focused on designing a fellowship for ICMR scientists on how to do outbreak investigation, how to do research, how to do disease modeling, things like that. Now, WHO has also passed the pandemic accords, means to say what countries should do in case there is a next pandemic. Okay, so it's a very serious thing. After COVID-19, it was a bad experience, right? So now health security, epidemiology is coming very much up into the conversations. Health security, you have national security, like unfortunately we had the attacks. Now that's a physical attack. What about bioterrorism, right? So if you're not having an epidemiologist in your team, then there is a bioterrorism agent. It's not a team. You need a specialist. So I don't know if you have seen this. There's one show called Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan, I think I'm not sure the movie. So the female lead is an epidemiologist. She's working in Ebola. So like the CIA will hire her to kind of know what exactly is going on, how it spreads. Do we need to contain it? What's the next step to be done and all? I mean, this movie is cinematized, but definitely it gives. If you see that movie, it gives a lot of enthusiasm to a budding epidemiologist. Like, okay, the roles are very seriously considered because you have to be very well versed with how disease spreads. So yeah, I mean the scope is there. It's about you knowing what kind of epidemiology you want to get into. Tuberculosis, HIV, COVID-19, upcoming emerging, re-emerging infections. There are so many things. Amay. That's the reason it's about finding what you really like. Even if you don't, you try it out. No hurry. I mean, it's good that you really explore, figure out before you turn to an age where your mind is very set. That happens. So when you're having that curiosity, you should try it out. Then you're like, when you're much older, you're like, okay, I tried it. I know what I want. More importantly, I know what I don't want. So that's kind of things you kind of get. So yeah,
More about
scope is definitely
it's more about rolling out than rolling.
yes, exactly.
As you mentioned the movie just now, so can you recall some others so the audience can have like a broader view when they watch this, if you recall any more?
Mhm. Okay, so I would say Contagion is one movie. Um, I think I have to recall a few more. There are quite a few movies which have this public health aspects. Um, I would say there is Dr. Pai, who is uh, a faculty of global health at Canadian University, and he is very well versed in what all movies you can watch and all that. So I'll share his profile also. I'll share it with you, Amay. You can have a look at his profile. He keeps posting different movies that you can watch in relation to pandemics and different interesting books that you can read to kind of keep you occupied. Yeah.
So, sir, like for students who are unsure about the field, how one can get exposure as an intern in public health or policy or MD Comet per se, and
Hmm.
how can they figure out that this is the right fit for them?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, each of these ICMR institutions, there are 20 plus ICMR institutions in India. Trust me, if you just give them a call or you say, this is what I'm interested in, or in worst case, they don't know who to approach, they can talk to me. I can try and see if there is somebody that they can connect with that they would really be interested to. So I'm all yours for people who are interested in finding out what they want. I think that's a good thing, man. people act as though they have everything figured out. They don't. Most top people also, I mean, some of them maybe, but yes, everyone is trying to figure things out. So it's good that you put a step forward. I think half the battle is figuring out. So yeah, each of them have their own portals, but now like with the internet, AI, everything, like information is so easily available. You can just put in a search. It's more about knowing what they want and applying. I think information is there, action. So I can help with that part. So yeah.
And they can do as an MBBS student, or they need to be MBBS graduate.
As an MBBS student also, definitely. See, at ICMR NIE, we used to get students who are doing Masters of Public Health and MBBS also. If this college allows it, that they can go for a certain duration. Some of them are on site, so maybe during your studies it may be affected, right? I have seen somebody during their internship; they are also gone, maybe taken an extension and things like that. Take care of your attendance. Don't say Dr. Nisarg told me I got attendance shortage. But either ways, if the college allows it, you can definitely try during your MBBS. Not at all a problem. Yeah.
Only if they have figured out their parts.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right, sir. So, sir, like, how does one can enter in international organization which you mentioned, like UNICEF, WHO, and what are the roles? What is the selection procedure? How does this go? Like, how does the salary and posting look like? So, if you
Mhm.
have idea about this, so can you please tell our audience more about this?
Yeah, yeah. So there are some staff positions that are some of them are permanent. So you have to, if you work minimum of 5 years as a staff member or anything like that, I think you will get a fixed amount as per the international standards of salaries. So that is a staff position at the top level. You can work as a consultant. You are not a full-time person, but you are still a consultant for these organizations on specific projects for a duration of time. Volunteers are not paid, so they can just maybe getting a monthly allowance and things like that. There are some like MSF, Medicine as Sans Frontiers, that is Doctors Without Borders. So that's also the international organization where you can volunteer. Then usually how they select is you have an online application for each of these. So you have to subscribe to the UNICEF portal, the WHO portal as well, where they kind of keep posting on applications for the WHO internship and then the other posts as well. Then you would be shortlisted. There would be interviews. Then you would be given the offer as well. So there are very diverse roles actually, depending on WHO. Everyone thinks only public health people. There are so many economists that go. There are so many political science background people that go because it's WHO is literally like a government organization only if you think about it. So you have so many different opportunities. Even people purely not in the public health field can also have seen. There are a diverse group of people you interact with. I would say that's one of the best things you will get exposed to. Anywhere else, any other specialty, right? You will not get common exposure to top level economists and top level politicians and policymakers. It's so interesting, and whatever each the table has such a diverse thing, you learn so much. So the salaries are very competitive, I would say. I would say between range of 100,000 to 200,000 uh, dollars a year, which is good. I mean, as a doctor in the US, also you will earn pretty much in that same range. Then you get definite benefits if you're a staff member, like health insurance, paid leave, retirement plans, and all that. And there will be international postings to different countries based on your country of origin. As an Indian, you would not be posted to South America because it doesn't make sense. You would be posted in Southeast Asia because you are an expert in that area. So something like that. UNICEF also similarly, just like this. So UNICEF hires for child protection, health, education, and WHO again also same thing. Now these volunteers and all that. So UNDP, United Nations Development Program, some of them also, that is also some consultants are all there. So if you're a very high level, like a development assistant and things like that, you can earn close to almost 50 lakh per year for a project lead and things like that. And program officers at a UNICEF level, again, you'll get around 24 lakhs per year. It's like 2 lakh per month. And again, it depends on your performance whether they'll take you as a permanent staff or anything like
All right. So, sir, what does a career in Ministry of Health and Welfare look like for beginners, and how does it progress over time?
that. Yeah. So Ministry of Health, again, you will. enter maybe as a consultant, initial junior consultant. Maybe after minimum 3 years of experience is required post your MD or anything like that is what I remember. MD or MPH depends. So MPH is usually taken from health science students, maybe dentistry or Ayush or any other health science things. But usually MBBS they go in for an MD. Some even go in for an MPH. Now, 3 years minimum, you come in as a consultant, you work on a specific project, and then over time, you kind of grow in that same field. Again, see, I have worked in 2 projects. It's always been minimum of 6 figures for me. So that way, that minimum pay scale is always there, even as an SR, even as a project scientist, even as a consultant epidemiologist, even in the ministry. 6 figures is pretty much an average range. So I'm giving a realistic thing in India. I'm not just giving some random figures. It's my own personal experience. So that's how it usually go about. And then from one thing to another, you will keep progressing. That's how it usually goes.
So, sir, for this ministry thing, we will be competing like the MD medicine people will be competing with the MPH also. So, do they prefer MD over MPH, or is it like not a thing?
So yeah, MPH is a 2 year course, MD is 3 year course. See, it also depends on what the project is about. For example, Amne. Now, if I say the project is about vaccinations, okay, and if the MPH has worked in the field, they work for a very good organization, and they have done some tremendous work. That's what you need, right? Even if it's just pass out MD with no real world experience, what's the point of hiring them? You'll have to spend another 6 months training them, right? Why works with so much? So it's an individualistic thing. We cannot generalize. Um I think it's all a matter of what really the role is and how well qualified that specific candidate is. So some of them they may be initial roles, maybe a program officer, health educator, research assistant, program manager. You can be a policy analyst, an epidemiologist, senior consultant, and director and head would be at the highest level. So yeah, I mean you have a fair point. That does give you an edge, but you cannot lie on your back saying, "Ah, I have this. No worries." No, that doesn't work.
This was a very generalized statement I have been listening in various podcasts. So we have hopefully burst this myth that it is not they are preferring MD always. It is more about the individual skill they have and the project that we get. So
Yeah.
that is a thing. And next, sir, what are the super specialization options after MD in community medicine and family
Mm,
medicine?
mm, mm. So thing is, as an MD in community medicine, it is a generalization. Okay, you're a generalist. You're not a specialist. Honestly speaking, you have so much information in your head. You have to know so many things if you're going to run things, right? So I think you're trying to. I mean, not you particularly. In general, we try to look at specialization, super specialization. So since our specialty is a generalization, it depends on your area of interest and how you wish to work on it. Whether you want to academically upskill yourself or just do on the field you want to upskill yourself, or you want to do research in that field. So, like I said, MD and MPH, right? So that degree is important, no doubt. But if you're an expert in doing research, so I have one of my professors who's an expert in liver diseases. Sir has published so many papers, and he's a WHO consultant, and he's written official WHO document for management of hepatitis. So he's one of the collaborators there. He didn't do any specific course or say something in hepatitis or liver diseases. He's published so much, he's worked on the field so much, he's taught it so much, he's been a part of these policy discussions so much. That's how you become an expert. That's kind of how things work in the public health sphere. It's about networking, like I said, no? If you talk about your work, people will give you more work, or people will want to work with you and or work under you. So it depends on how well you're able to establish yourself. And the best part for me is I am a person sometimes I have been no people joke that hopefully you stay in this one place now at least and all that. I mean, I am a person who tries to explore all these things. So The advantage is any other specialization, right? If you're a surgical gastroenterologist, you cannot suddenly start doing neurosurgeries tomorrow. You have to do that unless you do another specialization course, right? For me, it's not like that. I may be working on adolescent health today. Tomorrow, I'm like, okay, I'm happy with this. Now I'm seeing something more interesting. Something came up in the newspaper. I'm like, no, I want to work in tuberculosis. I want to dedicate the next 10 years. And in your CV, it will not look bad. It will look as though you have experience in communicable as well as in MCH. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So it's a no win-win. Whatever experience you have is an add-on. It's not something that is looked down upon. You're saying this is unrelated. Why are you doing this? So I think it's a blessing that there's no super specialization, and it's all a matter of what really pushes you to work towards it. But my honest advice is stick to one thing and work down, find out what you're really interested in at the earliest and double down on it. That becomes your super specialization.
And sir, pursuing MHA or MPH or MBA, post MD community medicine, either in India or abroad, what do you think about it?
I think